After 30 years of having to put up with me, my husband still lives with me.
Actually, in the Legacies of Women Forum that I've held in other countries, a lot of the women say that professional success didn't matter to them if the personal part of their lives doesn't feel good. So you're happy. Success is happiness. And Marika, do you feel successful now?
Success to me is work in progress. We have successes, small successes every now and then. I would say that I'm a success as a mother because when I look at my children, I'm seeing that they're definitely better versions of Marife. My daughter is head of sales of HP, and I find her a better organizer, a better motivator than I am. So with my son has brought up a 3-year-old son who's so, what would I think? He is so well-meaning of others, even at a very young age. And maybe the success that I would also describe relative to business is ensuring that this industry that we're in right now, the BPO industry, becomes a sustainable force for the development of the country. And so right now, that is the big challenge. How do we ensure that the world continues to consider the Philippines as the #1 center for outsourcing? Definitely in the voice space, we are the leader. Our non-voice colleagues are now working to ensure that the Philippines becomes, a stellar force in that arena. Success in the business is also being able to transform a culture. And what I can say is when I look at the 60,000 population of Converges, what I'm seeing are people who are becoming to be altruistic. For example, right now the programs of Converges are more in relation to helping people with education. As you know, about 40% of graduates in elementary do not go to high school. And this is because of poverty. So in our small way, we're trying to help with that goal. And I see the people of Converges being very altruistic and caring more about others before themselves.
That's great. What I'm hearing from you is something I haven't heard from other women CEOs, and that is you're caring about the impact and the place the Philippines has within your respective industries. And that's an even larger challenge than just being a success in your specific companies. So if you were to, very short, what do you say is your best leadership quality? How do you define yourself as a leader? Very short, nothing long. Some do.
It's actually about passion and being driven, because that one is the thing that energizes your team to follow your dream. I think in everything that we do, be it just the business or even our corporate social responsibility, we have that same passion.
So passion, man.
I try to lead by example, and I try to find people smarter than me and give them the opportunity to really bring out their best potential and to rise up the ladder. That's what I find, I believe my role is as a leader, is to bring out the best in all my people and in being able to let them thrive and flourish in the organization.
Do you know how many CEOs aren't able to find good successors? So that's a good piece of advice. Risa.
I think probably my best quality is to be able to make everyone reporting to me better and to instill the belief in them that they can do things and to instill the belief in the organization that they're capable of doing what they once thought was not possible.
And Marika, your best leadership quality?
I would consider myself a benevolent leader, somebody who is.
What's a benevolent leader?
Yeah.
I mean, you have to say no
Yes.
many times.
Yes, benevolent leadership is really knowing and realizing that you are the author and the doer of everything in your life. It's knowing where you want to go and going there without expecting anyone to go with you and still go there and keep going.
That sounds like
Yeah.
passion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess that's what I contribute.
Now, before anyone here thinks that, oh my God, these women are doing so well, how about the rest of us? I want each of you to tell me one point in your career, one crisis point, and how you dealt with it. Because to me, the pathway to success is not straight up. I mean, I've never seen that. So, anyone wants to pick up on that first? Was there ever a crisis point, when you decided to go from Warner Music?
My crisis point came when I realized that although I love broadcasting, because that was my early work, was television, I realized that I could not be proud of being a broadcaster under martial law, and realized that, I got to switch careers and give up on this, because there was nothing I could do to be the kind of broadcast journalist I wanted to be. So I had to take that plunge and just say, give up the show, gave up miscellaneous.
So, and you moved from broadcasting to what?
From broadcasting, I moved into corporate communications.
Became
Safer route,
a corporate person.
yes.
Okay, anybody else? Teresa?
Okay, this was shortly before I became president. Everybody knew I was going to be the next president. And there was some conflict we have sales teams and they're very passionate, very competitive. There was some conflict between two of them. And in discussing that with them, though neither refused to budge, it was obvious they were really testing me. That they were saying, this one, and so on. And it was hard to make a decision on what to do because neither was completely wrong. It's the gray areas that are where you're going to encounter a lot of difficulty when it's not obvious what's correct. So I talked with our head of sales then, we talked about it, and when we had to make a decision, we fell back on our values as a corporation. Because potentially, if we sided with one, it was a top performer, and they might lead the company. If we sided with the other, it was really a potential problem. So we decided to fall back on our values, what was right, what was just, what was fair, rather than who was the bigger seller. And when we did that, we said, and I remember very well what our sales head then said, sometimes, reason to tame the jungle, you have to slay the lion. So we decided to just fall back on our values, do what was right, and I think that single decision did so much to transform the organization and really set us on the path to growing more than 30% a year.
So they were testing you, so did you sense that they felt you made the right decision?
Yes, because after that, I had so many of the other managers come to me and say, now we know that it's a level playing field. And every single one of them started working really hard so that even if the one that was unhappy slowed down their sales, we still grew more than 30% a year.
You didn't fire that other person?
No. We're the best of friends now.
Oh, yeah.
Because over time, they also realized that we were right.
That's a coup. What about either one of you? A crisis point.
Okay, as I mentioned to you, I am in financial markets. So one big crisis that I will not forget is the Asian crisis that hit us directly. I remember that month of October, all the income that we made, we lost in one day. We lost it in one day, and that was October, and it was, didn't only lose it, you ended up with a negative. I can see very clearly the faces of my staff, they were very pale. To top it all, I was called by my head office to say, cut your limits. Now, how did you recover, right? You were
How did you feel personally when the market fell that low?
well, because of your deep faith, sometimes you find an inner peace amidst all of the chaos. It just said, okay, what can you do? The market really crashed, and you were stuck with a position, and you lost everything. But the thing that helps you is that because of that faith, you know that you will be able to get back something. So I regrouped my staff and we said, look, we will be able to make it. We came up with a strategy. We got back all the money that we lost. And actually that year proved to be, even up to this year, the most profitable time of our life in ING. To me, what it proves is that, if it hits like that, as long as you work together, you don't give up, you will actually get it back.
You talked about faith. Faith in yourself, faith in your strength, faith in what?
It's faith in your God, faith in yourself, and faith in your staff. Because it has to be together. That this thing will not last. You still have your brains and everything else, so you will be able to get it back. And we did. As I said, to this day, we made the most money in 2 months. I mean, compared to the whole year.
Well, if you start at the bottom,
No, every year from then on, I mean, for the full 25 years of ING, the most money that we made was on that year of the crisis.
Wow. Martha, a crisis point.
Yes, as you know, the BPO industry is a very competitive industry. You'll have employees working with you if another center establishes next door and offers 20-30% more compensation, they're ready to go. Sometime, Convergence started in 2003, and sometime in 2005, without my knowing it, my boss was establishing a competitive center in the country. And on that year, we lost our head of technology, head of training, a number of heads of sales, as well as they were joined by quite a bunch of their direct reports.
Wow.
So yes.
Some boss.
Yes. Anyway, so what happened was practically everyone in my management team came back to me and said, don't worry, we will make a go of it. And just like Sonia, that year was the year where we were the most profitable, we had the highest revenue, and we had the highest employee opinion survey rating.
Wow, amazing. Great. Now, all over the world, one of the things that hinders women is balancing work and life. Now, okay, we have one widow, 2 divorced, and 1 married. So I just, in the course of building your respective careers, how did you handle, work at home, work at work? I know there's help here in the Philippines that we don't have in the U.S., but how do you personally handle those family responsibilities? Oh, having a husband.
I married the right guy. Married the right husband. No. Well, then, seriously, that's part of it. I've been fortunate, I guess, in that, for the first 20 years of our marriage, my husband was earning far more than I was. But he always did his share. If somebody had to go get the report card, if I couldn't go, he would go. So there was mutual respect for each other's careers. It didn't really matter, who was earning more, who was higher rank. So that was a big help. But the other is you really just have to prioritize. It's very hard to balance. You really have to get your priorities straight. And I can really say outright to anyone, my family was always first priority. It wasn't the job, it wasn't all of this, it was always a family. And the other one that people forget is yourself. You shouldn't forget yourself too. If you have time for your husband, time for your kids, you have to have time for your work, you have to have time for yourself. So I should mention earlier, I'm a marathon runner. I do at least 1 marathon a year. For those who don't know, that's 42 kilometers. So I really have to train for that. And I schedule the training just like any other appointment. My assistant knows don't schedule on this date because I'm going to be training. So schedule everything and try to leave even your dates with your significant others. Schedule a time for it. You know, my husband jokes that he has to make an appointment just to see me, but that's really part of it. Schedule a time for that and spend time with your kids because very soon they won't be there.
They're gone. Anybody else?
Yes, relative to work-life balance. You know, my advice to women who are thinking of getting married, and this is an advice that I would give my nieces. You know, I tell them, the number one qualification for a husband is this. Ask him if he's willing to wake up at 12 midnight to change the diaper of your child. Yes, because as Sheryl Sandberg said, this world is going to be a better world if 50% of the men run businesses, or rather, 50% of the women run businesses and 50% of the men run homes. Okay? Yeah, there's no such thing as work-life balance. Yes, it's a personal decision. You decide whether you go ahead with the appointment of a CEO versus attending the PTA meeting of your daughter. Yes, or you know, you can ask your mother to attend the PTA meeting or call the CEO to postpone the appointment. So everything is a personal decision.
Okay. Zandi?
Well, I always kid my staff that what work-life balance are we talking about? If you enjoy your work, it's just like vacation, right? So you already have part of that with you. But honestly, it's really about scheduling, and I really am thankful there's Viber, WhatsApp, and all of these things, because I have never been more connected to more people than I can think of. My high school friends, my college friends, my sorority sisters, my brothers and sisters, and we are 11, so you can just imagine, and then my kids. So, it has a way of connecting you and, talking to them a little bit more often. So, yeah, it helps in
So
this
technology helps you in terms of work-life relationships.
Yes, and getting connected.
Right. No, can you back up? 11 brothers and sisters?
Yes.
And what were you?
I am the forgotten middle child. I always say that to make them guilty.
Thank you. Man?
So may this single person speak
Yes.
about work-life balance? Even though I'm single, divorced single, I do have a family. I have a very closely knit family. And while I was setting up this most challenging part of my career, setting up an airline, my father was towards the end years of his life. And I knew that he was my top priority. I am number 2 of 9 children and first girl. So I was daddy's girl, right? So I made it a point to always spend time with him. And if I had to work outside, I would bring my dad with me whenever possible. So he was very much a part of my life. And I tried to reserve the weekends. So the weekends were for family. I don't have children biologically, but I think I'm the greatest tita on earth as far as my nephews and nieces are concerned, because they come to me, they spend a lot of time with me. Even those abroad come and apprentice with us, and family to me is very, very important. They're the reason why I work so hard. And another thing is, yes, do something for yourself. Something that you really, really enjoy doing. So my advocacies of scuba diving and reef conservation, they're a part of my life, they're part of my schedule. But my advice to everyone is, if you're going into a challenging position, make sure you have a very good PA. That spells the difference. Let me tell you, the only reason why I can do what I'm doing and juggle so many things in the air is I have an excellent PA. She's worth her weight in gold because she runs my life, and also delegate. Make sure you have a good team and you can delegate.
Great advice.
Irene, maybe at this point, what I would like to do is inject a word from our sponsor, the Filipina CEO Circle. Because relative to work-life balance, you know, there are 40 women in this country who run large businesses, are married, have children, and are able to do it successfully. And these are the 40 women of the Filipina CEO Circle. Ladies, please stand up and be recognized. So you can do it. You can have a life and at the same time run a successful business.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up, and the reason I ask this is because it is a continuing challenge for a lot of women. Making time for yourself, for your family, for your friends is not always possible. And there is no such thing as work-life balance. What it is that at some point work takes priority, other points, you know, family takes priority, and then yourself takes priority during certain crisis periods. So what I wanted to ask, I know that I had what I call them my mothers, my mentors. Did you have a mentor or two that were instrumental in sort of helping you, you know, in your path to success? Zombie, was there somebody?
No specific mentor, but I think I do have supportive bosses. And one particular one that comes to mind is my global boss. As I said, when that was the other crisis, but there was another crisis that happened where I really could not get out of the position, and a position that I had. And my boss, I told my boss, look, this is my alternative that I can think of. And I just told, just sent a half sheet of paper and he said, okay, do it. And I felt so, trusted and empowered. And that thing really made me feel good, that it was a huge responsibility. It made a lot of, it will cost us a lot of money, but he trusted me to do what I should. And I didn't have to do a lot of convincing.
That's a mentor.
Yes. And right now he's a very big man in Black Rock. And every time he meets ING, he always asks, how is Sondi? So I really feel good about that.
Well, that's great. Mentor, anybody?
Yes, my two partners, the two Tonys of my life, Tony Coanco and Tony Fernandez, were my mentors. I mean, my most recent mentors, because every stage of my career, there would always be somebody to help guide you through, to sound off on. From Tony Coanco, I learned how to approach things very calmly. And especially at the early stage when I was trying to get the license and working through all of, the regulators and all that, I would get to the point where I'd go ballistic and become very homicidal at certain points. And I would call Tony and his very calm voice is going, Maan, sabi niya. We will play the cards as they are dealt to us. There is nothing we cannot overcome. The other Tony is a very excitable sort. He would be the other one. You have the devil on one side and the angel on the other side. The one on this side is going, "What are you doing? You better kick some asses there." Blah blah blah. The other one's telling me to calm down, calm down.
So which should you decide to listen to?
Both of them, really, because what I learned from Tony Fernandez is how to impart your passion on to people, and how to really inspire your people, and how to lead by example. I mean, he worked through every phase of airlines, including baggage handling, just to show people that I will not ask you to do something that I am not willing to do myself. So following his example, I did that as well. I had to learn about engineering, I had to learn about everything, not because I was going to master it, but because I wanted to understand what they needed. So the two Tonys of my life, great mentors.
Great mentors, but you were also receptive to what they were telling you. What about you, Risa?
I think throughout my career, there have been many people from whom I've learned and who have guided me. But if I were to think of one person who probably had the biggest influence on me, was my dad. Because he was also a corporate executive. And from the time we were, I guess, born, he always instilled in us the value of excellence and always doing your best, whatever it is that you did. It didn't matter if it was playing basketball or running or what. You had to do your best, whatever you did. And when I first started working, he gave me that bold passion for excellence. And the things that, and through the years, I've come to him for advice whenever I've come to crisis points. And there have been things like once I was really struggling with my boss. And my dad asked me, what's the problem with your boss? So I told him, and he said, well, do you like the company that you're working for? I said, yes, it's a very good company, etc., etc. So he said, Risa, bosses come and go, but good companies are hard to find. So he said, and he was right. Eventually, my boss changed and moved on, and ended up being very happy in the company I worked with. And the other thing that he really instilled in us was treat other people well. It didn't matter who you were in the company, he treated you exactly the same way. So when he passed away, there were a lot of people coming to pay their respects. Security guard who said that he used to have lunch with him, counseled him. The nurse who said that when she had struggles, he counseled her what to do and even lent her money. The secretary whose kid was, despite the fact that he was so busy, he always seemed to have time for people, no matter who they were.
Well, nice to have a family mentor. You're very lucky. And Martha?
Yeah, just like Luisa, the people that we meet become mentors or coaches. I have quite a number of role models, but one that has really influenced how I've become is Bob Romulo. Bob Romulo was the president of IBM so many years ago. That was before he became Secretary of Foreign Affairs. I was in sales and marketing in IBM for 18 years, and I remember the time that Bob Romulo would, every lunchtime, Bob Romulo would go up to the canteen of the IBM building and check whether there was an IBM salesman having lunch in the canteen. Because his mantra is, you have to be with your clients, your customers, every single hour of the day. So it's really walking the talk and being driven in anything that you're aspiring for. So that was what I learned from him. My other mentor is, of course, Andre Ayers, who is the CEO of Convergys Corporation. The have faith line is something that I also use with the people here in the Philippines, the people that I've worked with. I remember 10 years ago, or 7 years ago, I came to her with a proposal to build 5 more centers in 1 year. And she said, Marife, but we don't have clients for this center. And I said, have faith, Andrea, they will come. And indeed, even before those 5 buildings were finished, they were 100% signed up for. So when my employees come to me and also tell me, have faith, I give it to them.
Ah, wonderful. Now, all of you have hired people throughout your career, and now even more so. What do you see as continuing challenges for women in terms of accessing corporate leadership? Don't tell me you don't see any
There
challenges.
are no challenges. There are opportunities, especially in this country. I don't think this country puts any difference or dichotomy between male and female leaders, right?
I think sometimes women tend to underrate themselves. Because we've always been taught that, if you're the one that raises your hand always in the classroom, you're pushy, okay? And then the boys won't like you, the girls get jealous of you, and that sort of thing. So, I'm surprised, but it still exists today. So, first things we've got to get rid of is that, do not undersell yourself. When an opportunity comes up, don't wait to be asked. If it's something that you can do, you tell them, yeah, I can do that. And go for it, So I think that's the biggest challenge remains in our own brains.
I think what is increasingly actually becoming a challenge for not just women actually, but men in the workplace is taking care of their families while they're working. Because unlike in our time when we had the luxury of being able to get house help easily, now more and more it's not easy. So I'm seeing with the younger generation, they stick to one kid, two kids, and it's a challenge whenever somebody's sick, has to be brought to the doctor, etc. Still, I think the females generally still feel that it's their responsibility more than their husband's responsibility, or spouses, to take care of the kids. Of course, more and more a lot of guys are just as willing. It's just that a lot of females feel that they can't ask. They have to do it themselves. I think you'll find that a lot of the males now are also a lot more modern in thinking and will be willing to do the stuff for you that you think they wouldn't be willing to.
But ask them.
But ask them, exactly. That's something my husband will always tell me, I can't read your mind. If you want something, tell me. He says.
And Sandy?
Well, I think similar to mine. I think girls should really speak out their mind. Do not be afraid. If it's a man, they think they're just aggressive, and you speak out, they think you're a bitch. And I've been told that. And I have been told that a number of times and more names than that. But the important thing is, if you really need something, say it, and seize the moment. And that's the only thing I can say. And yeah.
Okay. One last question. If you had to do it over again, what would you change in your career path? If you had to do it over again, would you have become a lawyer instead?
I would have become a lawyer in the Philippines because I said to myself, I will not protect the guilty even if they have human rights. Sorry. But what I would have loved to do, but it was not really something during my time, is to be a lot more involved in technology. I really think the technology these days, and it's really so transformational. In the banks, there are so many disruptions happening in different industries, and I think it's something that's a good opportunity for the kids out here because they have the mind of disruptors, and that disruption can actually exponentially create its own success. So if I were younger, I would have embraced technology, and I wish I were like the son of, or daughter of Riza, who's working in Apple or Google. I would want to be in that kind of a life.
Okay. Mon, anything you would do over?
Exactly what you said. In our company, they call me the techno dino baby, the dinosaur. Okay. And in our industry, and with somebody like Tony Fernandez, who is so savvy with social media, we use media a lot. That's what allowed low-cost airlines to come in the first place. So if I could do it all over again, I would really like to learn about technology. Until today, I don't have a Facebook account. I have a Twitter account, which I have not used. And I think that there are lots of things that I could do if I were more techno-savvy. So really, I should have paid attention.
Okay. I'm a techno-bobo too.
Well, I'm a techie. So, the opposite end because I took IT. But I really thought about that when you asked us earlier, is there something I would change? And nothing.
Okay. Very
Yeah,
good.
just like Riza, I love my life. However, there's one thing that I would have wanted to do much earlier. I've never been civic-minded. I've never voted in my whole life. I've never campaigned. But, you know what? I'm taking a stand. I said, I want to work for the person who's going to be the best president for this country.
Yeah. Okay.
And you should run.
Okay, we're not done with you guys. It's your turn now to ask them questions. We have some time we've allocated because we want to hear from you. Now, remember what they said. Do not be shy. Speak up If there's something on your mind, stand up and ask the question. Questions from anyone. There's a mic up there. Please come up. There's a mic over there. Just go and ask.
By the way, she's one of the best PAs I ever had. That's Ayu Ubaldo. She ran my life before. That's music days.
Wait, we can't hear you. We want to know what you do now.
Okay, I really wanted to say this because as I was listening to you ladies and I was listening to Maan, I was like reliving my life. When I know Maan, I worked with her for nearly 15 years. And she's the reason why I'm here now. When I was working for her, I was supposed to go into production, Maan, remember? And she said, you know what, my PA is pregnant and is leaving in a couple of weeks. Do you want to stay up here with me? And I did, and the first month was hell. She was really ballistic. But, you know, I stuck it out, and I remember, because I was, at the time, writing wasn't, gonna be, lucrative. So I would be writing on the weekends, and she would always go, you know what, continue writing. Just keep writing and keep writing and keep writing. And I did. And right now, I'm a digital editor, and I'm a magazine editor, and I'm the executive director of the Internet and Mobile Marketing Association of the Philippines. And it's because of the things that I learned from her. And you know what? I think I can sum it up in one word. It's integrity. She said, never be late, never lie. And that's just it. So
Great, thank you for sharing that. What a great story of mentoring. That's another mentoring example. Other questions? Okay, come on up. Come up quickly to the mics. You can line up so we don't waste time.
Hi, I'm Jessica Policar from De La Salle University, and I address this question to all the ladies in front. Ms. Marifel Zamora mentioned earlier that one of her measures of success is that there are lesser people suffering from poverty. You specifically gave an example about those people who are unable to finish high school. One example I can give are those women working as prostitutes. As a woman, what is your standpoint for the women who are being exploited in work, such as prostitution? And as a woman with power, what can you do to help these women?
You know what? If they have a good command of the English language, they're savvy with the computer, please send me their resume. Marifel.Zamora at conversions.com.
And that's not a cheap answer. To get out of prostitution, you need to find other sources of income. So what she's saying is that there are other avenues. The hard part is changing the mindset to indicate that there are other ways of making a living, and they may be trapped in situations they can't necessarily get out of. But there are employment possibilities. Yes, next.
Hi, good morning. I'm Denise Drager, a house manager with Okovi Nader Philippines. So I wanted to ask everyone in the panel, how do you see education, training, and support systems for women leaders evolving? What kind of skills and competencies will they need to be able to manage organizations, manage teams?
To become like that?
Yes.
Okay. Anybody want to take that? Go ahead.
The two scholasticals immediately took the mic. I was surprised to see Ai here, but when I had forgotten what I said to her, be on time and don't lie. I learned those from my school, from St. Scholastica's College. I was there since grade school. And one of the things that my Benedictine education gave me is discipline and a respect for time. Okay? So I think you will find the skills that you need right in your homes, right in your school. What is school after all? Going through school is just really learning how to navigate life, how to solve problems. And that's one of the takeaways that I had from St. Scholastica's College, that if you respect time, people know you're reliable, if you keep to your deadlines, you'll achieve far greater in your life than you can ever imagine. The other thing is integrity. You have to come from a solid core inside. And that you learn again from your family and your school. So that's where I think you should take your lessons from.
Yeah, I think the skills you need in order to advance in your career as a woman are no different from the skills that males need to advance in their career. The mistake a lot of females often have or make is to think that I can't do it because I'm female or I'm being discriminated against because I'm female. In reality, for most organizations, in fact, I've never encountered discrimination being a female. It's all about the quality of your work, the work that you do, how hard you work. So if you get as much as you put in. So if you work harder than anyone around you, in all likelihood, you'll also advance much farther than anyone around you.
You know, let me just temper that a bit from my perspective. There is such a thing as discrimination in the workplace. There are companies in which it is difficult for women to, no matter what they say about the company being a meritocracy, I know in the United States lots of women feel still that there are glass ceilings. So being skilled, being trained in the right areas helps, but there are also institutional barriers that actually do exist. You there.
Hi, I'm Lisa Pado from the UP College of Architecture. This question is addressed to anyone. What advice can you give to students who are currently unsure of the course they're in, or they're not really sure of what they should be doing? Where would you go for inspiration or enlightenment?
Your question is, what advice would you give to a student that's not sure that she's studying the right thing? Can I answer that?
Sure.
You don't have to know now where you want to be. What you want to know is who you are and what interests you. If architecture is not ringing your chimes, move on. I graduated with 140 credits, which was a lot more than I needed because I liked everything. You know? So, and you know, all I wanted was to be a university professor. I did that, and then moved on to administration, moved on to politics, then moved on to leading a large nonprofit. You don't have to know at 18 who you want to be. What you want to learn how to do is to compute, to articulate, to lead, to be able to analyze. That's what a good education should provide for you. The discipline, the belief in yourself. So later on, when you figure out that, you know, there's this line of work that you like to do, get graduate training, okay? But only when you know that's what's needed. So, you know, thank you for asking that. Anybody else want to respond to that?
Well, she sounded like my daughter, actually. You know, what I just told my daughter when she was doing something that she thought, as I told you, she was assistant plant manager, she thought that's what she wanted, but it made her unhappy. So I told her, just follow your beliefs. Whatever it is that makes you happy. If this thing makes you happy, just follow your beliefs. Just do something that you're passionate about.
Okay. Is that okay?
Yeah, thank you.
Yes.
Good morning. I'm Trish Directo, third year AV Psychology student at Assumption College. And I just want to ask, as a leader, diba, it's a matter of decision. So what helps you decide for the betterment of your company? And what are the risks that you're willing to take with those decisions that you make?
Okay, I'm trying to understand this question. What led to the decisions that they made?
Yes, and like, what helps, what and who or the people who help you decide for you to reach that level of success?
Anybody want to take this? All decision making requires risks. So you're asking what led them to be able to make the right decision?
Yes.
To choose?
I think there isn't any one of us that can claim to know everything. So when there's a difficult decision to be made, I try to talk with the people who are most involved in the decision, who will be most impacted, and who have the most knowledge to be able to assist in giving that decision. So once you have all the facts at your disposal, then you really have to do the analysis yourself, and then you also have to go back to your values. Is it the right thing to do? And is it based on the goals that you have as an organization? Is this really where you want to go? And I think all of those together, involving people, getting the facts, putting them at your disposal, making sure they're in line with your own beliefs and values, and that normally helps you come to the right decision.
You know, over the years, what has helped me, I have a personal board of directors, if you will. You know, people you respect, with whom you can speak honestly, and you sort of bounce ideas off of it in the same way that you did. That helps, and as you grow in your career over the years, those people become very important. People whom you trust, who are smart, and who believe in you as well. Yes?
Hi, I'm Karine from Asia Pacific College. And my question is, as a woman, it would be normal for us to be hormonal. And I'm wondering if...
I would say that again?
Hormonal, like when you cannot... There's a powerful force that's, larger than yourself, and you don't want to do something, but it's making you do something that you know you're going to regret later. So I was wondering if you've experienced that and how... if you experienced that and how you manage that as a woman and executive.
You're presuming that hormones affect your behavior and decision making?
Yes, yes.
Shades of Donald Trump.
Okay, anybody want to answer her? Asking a serious question here. I don't happen to believe that there is a connect between the two, because that's the excuse men make often. If we make mistakes or we fly off the handle, that's what Donald Trump just implied in the debate, the last debate among the Republican nominees, candidates.
Or they say, a woman gets menopausal. Well, there's also male menopause, so, even, right? No, but I tend to agree with Irene here. For me, it's not an issue. Not an issue at all.
And you shouldn't make it an issue.
Yeah, maybe take it beyond the hormones. There are situations where we feel really upset, and it's not necessarily hormonal in nature, or where we, might be feeling down or depressed. Typically, what I would do in a situation like that is don't talk to other people, or don't make the decision when you know that you're not in exactly the right frame of mind. Go away, sleep on it, and go back the next day when you're in a calmer mood. And it's not necessarily related to hormones. Could be you're just really not in the right frame of mind.
Okay, and these two,
I was just about to say, when you're mad, please don't send an email or text.
No, this is very good advice.
Really?
Everybody says this, don't
Yes.
ever respond right away when you are you will say the wrong thing,
You will regret.
and emails are permanent, okay? Last two questions, these two young women there.
Good morning. I am Mel Flores, taking up MBA as a Filipino professional.